Hi guys, welcome to another review video from OnWheelsTV. This is the review about the latest track released by Studio 397 for rFactor 2. The track is named Le Mans 24 Hours, and you can find it once you bought it and installed it in the sim. You can find it not directly as mentioned by its name, but by the definition Circuit de la Sarthe. Then you click on Circuit de la Sarthe and it appears the Le Mans 24-hour track, as I mentioned. This is important because when we were trying to make this review that was published for half an hour last week, there was an issue with the version of the track we used, and that therefore because we want to do something really important here with OnWheelsTV in sim racing, it's obvious we had to remove it and prepare another video. So no problem in explaining mistakes. It's worse when you don't admit them, and that's not our policy. So continuing, this is a very long video. In fact, it came out a little bit longer than the previous one we made, and that one does not exist anymore. But I hope that till the end of the video, if you spare the time to watch it, you can understand why we made this choice. So, always driving the BMW M8 GTE with the Oiskenveld livery. Oiskenveld, an amazing hardware brand dedicated to sim racing. They're really good at the moment when it comes to pedals and handbrake. But no one asked me for doing this advertising. I just do it because I appreciate good work when I see it. So, small mistake here from me. A lot of time trying to put the BMW M8 GTE back and running. Problems starting the engine. It's not just clicking the button and the clutch and using the clutch to put the engines working in the cars on rFactor 2. They look a little bit similar to what it happens in real life when you try to start an engine from a racing car. So okay, during this long video we are going to show you, and we hope that you can pay attention to this important information. We are trying to show you a simulation of a 24-hour event at Le Mans, and we try to show you how the sim works to perfection, making this the best proposal in terms of simulating Le Mans in sim racing, at least currently. Officially, only two tracks, only two simulation platforms have this track officially, are now rFactor 2 and for some time already iRacing. However, due to the capabilities of the rFactor 2 sim with dynamic weather, with the real-time simulation that allows us to simulate in real-time an event in a simulation platform, with the night and day transition, with the rubbering on the track, with the way that the new tire available on rFactor 2 works. With all this connected, I truly believe that this is the best and the most real simulation you can get for a track and an event so specific, such as the Le Mans 24 Hours. So, during this long video we will try to simulate several parts of the day and night, also with weather changing conditions, to show you how this is such an important release for the sim racing world and community. Please do not pay attention, because during the several laps in this video you will see that sometimes I had trouble keeping myself on track. I didn't work in the setup for the car for any of the situations I will be showing you here. I was trying to be fast, always fast, but this video is not about performing good laps lap after lap. This video is about showing how the track is so well worked in every way, and to show you how it works to perfection in the sim, and how it makes the possibility of simulating a 24-hour event so real and so impressively good. So just as a detail, my best lap was at night. So but I could still, and you will be seeing it, seeing that lap during the video. I could still improve maybe 3 to 4 seconds in that lap time. But now let's go and explain in detail the weather cycle we prepared for this video, and the time cycle we prepared for this video. So we selected 4 or 5 situations, different situations during a 24-hour event, and at specific times of the day and night. So in this first approach on track, driving the BMW M8 GTE, we left the pits at 11 o'clock in the morning. So this was our first experience with the track at 11 o'clock in the morning. Track was, well, the track temperature was not too high, not too low also, because more or less at 11 o'clock in the morning is when in a hot day is when the temperature starts to stay both in the air and on the track. So the track is fabulous. So Studio 397 had already shown us previously when they released Sebring. Later, when they released the Formula E version of Monaco or Monte Carlo, if you prefer, and we will be approaching that in a review video also. It's in our plan at least. But when they released those 2 tracks, they already shown us how good they are working with laser scan technology to bring tracks to a simulation platform. So in my opinion, what they did with Sebring was to provide the community with the best ever version of Sebring in a simulation platform. In the case of this Le Mans 24-hour track, they also achieved an amazing work. The track is, and this is, I promise, the only time in this video I'm going to say the word amazing. So this track, it looks really good, looks very real, and not only the work in the track itself, but also in the surroundings, in the surrounding environment, is of high quality. One of the best I've ever seen, if not the best. And in fact, I believe that this is the most important release from Studio 397 for the sim. I'm pretty sure they also see it this way. And for us, having such an amazing track for only 10.99 euro is well, it's incredible. There's a lot of people in this world passionate of car racing, racing drivers. There's a lot of people that never had the chance to drive in this track, and I'm pretty sure that to do so in opportunities where some sort of events such as track days are created, I'm pretty sure that they will pay more than 10.99 euros, sorry, for a couple of laps, or for 5 or 6 or 7 laps or whatever. But what we have here is for 10.99 euro the chance to drive forever in this track. If we want, we can do it every day. So it's really cheap, and it's more than worth it. The quality of the track, as you can see, is absolutely amazing. Also, with the updates and with the improvements that Studio 397 has been delivering to the sim, in terms of the graphics, in terms of the shades, or of the shaders if you prefer, in terms of the way that the glow works with the cars, and they have been working graphically both to have those effects because of the lights in the cars, but also because of the way that the light affects the track. Visually, rFactor 2 is improving tremendously, and it looks already one of the most real simulations, also graphically, in the market. So it is, no doubt in my opinion, it remains no doubt in my opinion the best sim, although they still need to work in a lot of stuff, such as the new UI they have been promising but not delivering. But I'm pretty sure, judging by the way they have been developing this sim, so in such a coherent manner, and step by step trying to do everything right, in every aspect they are trying to improve in the sim. I'm pretty sure that the UI is not forgotten and is being worked so that when it is released, it has no flaws, or at least doesn't have too many. I'm pretty sure that that's how they will do it, because this has been their modus operandi, and I'm pretty sure they will continue doing this this way. So this is the chance to drive an amazing track, the best track currently available in the sim. I have to be really honest with you guys, because when I was driving, and I already have a lot of hours in this track, although I have issues, as I will be showing soon in a video. I have been issues with my Fanatic equipment. I have been trying to talk with them, get some help. Their support is basically it's crap, because they, at least with me, but I have been having some issues with my equipment, both the wheel and the wheelbase, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be changing soon to another brand, and I'm not going to continue working with them anymore. But this is for another video. But anyway, since this is a long video, I can very quickly explain to you. So my wheel, once I go on track, the wheel immediately during the lap start losing the center position, and then it gets bad and bad and bad and bad and really worse lap after lap, especially if at any moment I clipped a curb or something. It really is painful. At the same time, incredibly, the screws in the wheel, this happens with the wheel, or because of a problem in the wheelbase. At the same time, as incredible as it may seem, the screws in the wheel are always untightening themselves, so I have from time to time to stop and tighten the screws, which is incredible in equipment that is not at all cheap, and from one of the most important brands in the market. So yeah, that's the problem. I've tried to talk with them, tried through the marketing department, tried to the ownership, through the ownership, but I never even got the respect of an answer. So I'm done with them. Well, it's a shame that they act like this. They should be working in the same way, but they don't have, at least it seems they don't have the same policy for everybody, and not even also in terms of media people trying to promote them. So till now I've always been trying to promote them. I will not be doing that anymore in the future. I really think I don't deserve this sort of behavior. I've always been honest with them. People ask me for advice in terms of equipment. I've always been trying to direct them to Fanatic. I won't be doing that anymore. And in the near future, I will bring new news to you guys, because I will, OnWheelsTV and myself will start working with a new brand. And there are a lot of good brands out there, and hopefully a new path is worked in that subject. So continuing with our video, yeah, another mistake here in this turn. I was under pressure by two cars, and then I made a mistake there. Anyway, we are now already at the second different time of the day that we show in this video, and this is 7:30 at night. So at the moment it's the end of the day. It's 7:30, late afternoon. So the sun is getting down. It's still daylight, as you can see, but the way the shadows work in the track is different, because the sun is starting at some parts of the track to hide between the trees, and it still gets some light to the track, but it's different, and you can see that the shadows are stronger. The lighting in front of the car is stronger, such as in this part of the circuit here. In this part of the circuit they start getting the light right in front of them, the sun right in front of them, and this is something that, of course, it was set up for me when I chose the different hours of the day to do the video, but it's something that if you race an event on rFactor 2, a 24-hour event in real time, you will see the changes in the lighting and in the track, also in terms of the track temperature, constantly changing. So this brings much more interest to the simulation, makes it much more real, and the quality in this track is so good. The laser scan work is so good, is so thorough, that it's basically as if you were racing in real life in this track. You don't feel the gravity working because you are closed in a space. You are not physically on the track, but aside from that, and that you can feel also in the wheel and in the pedals because of the force feedback, but aside from that, this is as real as it gets. So I was always struggling in some corners of the track to get some grip. As you can see, I did not choose a strong setup in terms of the railroad. The railroad, for those of you that don't know, the railroad is the technique used in the sim to add or to get the rubber on track. So the cars are on track and they leave rubber there. Then you work and you drive in that rubber, and of course during a 24-hour event there will be at some point a lot of rubber on track, and you will be feeling it physically also, because it glues like in real life. So you will work much more physically when driving in the rubber. And we get to a different different time of the day. So this is now closer to night. It's now 9 o'clock at night. I'm always exiting the pits when I start doing this. It's 9 o'clock at night, and still some sun here and there, but it's much darker now. Cars are already using with the headlights on. The cars are already with the headlights on, and as you can see, it's darker and darker at some parts of the track. It's more night than day already, but it's late afternoon. So 9 o'clock. Probably this is summer hour. So because normally 9 o'clock it's already night, but at this time of the day here it's still late afternoon. So some sun there still, but it's getting darker and darker. This also affects, of course, the track temperature, and in this section of the track, the sun is behind you, so you can drive okay. But when you are coming back in the last section of the track, the sun will be almost in front of your eyes, making it difficult for you to drive. Anyway, this section of the video is now strongly focused in this part of the day and night, and that will allow us to show you, in case you didn't see. I was not seeing that car there because my windscreen is not properly set up. My rear view mirrors, are not properly set up, so I just saw the car when I touched him. But no problems, not for me, not for him. In this section and in the next moment of the video, really night, you will be able to see how overwhelming is the work done by Studio 397 in this track. Not only graphically for the day, but also graphically for the night, making this an even more real simulation. So you will be able to see how they worked in the details, in the lighting, in the lights available on track, and in the way the lights are affected during a lap. The lights that are affected by the headlights of the cars as the cars go by, the lights inside the car. All of that has been worked with tremendous detail by Studio 397, and I will be highlighting that as we go along the video. So as you can see, there's some lighting here. Here is also a mix of the sunlight and of the artificial light available on the track. The track has a lot of light, and it has been improving in that matter in real life, having more and more light, allowing the audience, the public, to be in more parts of the track because they can enjoy more the race at night now with more lighting, with more lights. They don't. Before they would only see the headlights of the cars and hear the engines. Now they can see more, which makes this show of endurance racing much better, and that's why it's so popular nowadays. It has been very popular among true motor racing fans, but that popularity has been increasing significantly, also thanks to the media and the way these events are promoted and broadcasted. So we will get to that point also, hopefully, in sim racing, because sim racing is also developing strong, has been gaining lots more and more credibility as an esports, and that is also thanks to the amazing work of some simulation brands such as Studio 397, that, by the way, is already announcing a 24-hour event in this track, and it should be amazing. I'm pretty sure a lot of teams are already working and practicing for that, and as it has been happening with the events that took place recently, such as the 12 Hours of Sebring at Studio, hosted by Studio 397, this 24-hour race at Le Mans, I'm pretty sure it will be another huge success, probably with real drivers, such as it happened in Sebring with Max Verstappen. So we're on board now in this lap. This lap didn't go perfect for us also. We crashed, as you will be able to see, but pay attention to the cockpit, to the lights in the cockpit, see how they are affected by the natural light still available on track. The cockpit at this moment is not being affected by the artificial light in the track, but it is being affected by the natural light. It doesn't have that many at this moment, the track, but there are some the sun is still there, yeah, and you can see it. Obviously, during this video we used the Endurance Pack, also a product of Studio 397, and an amazing product. Having these cars, the GTE cars and the LMP2s and the LMP3s, and I love the LMP3 car, available with content such as this track, such as the Sebring track, and other tracks available, also official, and the sim helps develop an endurance racing community, and that is one of the strongest communities at the moment, working with rFactor 2, the endurance community, because this content is the best content out there in sim racing. The endurance content on rFactor 2, in my opinion, is the best out there in sim racing. Obviously, for instance, iRacing has very good endurance content. The sim is not yet working on the same level of rFactor 2 in terms of the day-night transition. It doesn't have dynamic weather, and therefore it's limited when you compare it to rFactor 2. It is really good, iRacing, in so many ways, but in this matter, providing a real simulation of endurance racing with great content, both cars and tracks, working really well graphically and physically, is one of the many talents that makes, in my opinion, rFactor 2 the best in this area at the moment in sim racing. So it is darker and darker. This section of the track it makes it harder for drivers or sim racers to see, because the sun at this moment is really starting to completely hide. But 1 hour, 2 hours before, it was painful to drive in this section of the track. So if you pay attention to the detail, you can see in there it is. Yeah, I avoid hitting the concrete barrier, but this was the end of my lap there. So I now choose a different camera angle, a sort of a cockpit camera angle, although it's outside the car, the camera, so that you can see the lighting in the grandstands, in the finish straight, the lighting on the track, the clouds. Yeah, it was already starting to show what could happen the next day. Yeah, those clouds, and you will see that in the final time of the day present in this video. But this is all about the track, this video. It's long, but I wanted to show you several situations in which you can truly enjoy this release from Studio 397. Look at the way the car works in the shadows, yeah, in the sun there, and the way this is also well connected, so well worked graphically. This for 10.99 euro, yeah, it's almost a joke. It's almost a joke. This is the best track I've ever seen in sim racing. Yeah, definitely is the best track I've ever seen in sim racing. The sounds of the cars the sound of the cars is also amazing. It's impressive to hear the engines working. I do love to hear the engine of the LMP2 car working in this straight. But throughout the track, yeah, the sound is very real. Studio 397 in these cars they released in the endurance spec, all the cars are officially licensed, so, and with tech data provided from the brands. That happens with the BMW M8 GTE, that happens with the Porsche 911 RSR, that happens with the Corvette C7R, and these are the three cars from the GTE class. Then you have the Norma LMP3 car from the LMP3 class, and then you have the Oreca 05 from the LMP2 class. So these cars are all officially licensed, but of course in this track you can also race, if you want to, with the GT3 cars from the GT3 pack, also released by Studio 397, where all the cars are also officially licensed, and you can try, for instance, the new Aston Martin Vantage. I chose to not use those cars, the GT3 cars, in this video, because I wanted to replicate a 24-hour event, and of course that class doesn't race in the Le Mans 24-hour race. So I chose to only use the LMP2s, the LMP3s that also don't race, but I wanted to have more than a class car in the prototypes. And there is no official content from the LMP1 class on rFactor 2. That is something also that I think Studio 397 should be working on, but they probably are, because they know that it's important to have the top class, and the top class is all as without interest competitively as it may be at the moment in real life. The LMP1 class is always very important. It's the most important class anyway, because it's where the most powerful cars are, and you guys have to work on having that in the sim. I hope you do that. I hope you do that, and the sooner the better. So getting closer and closer tonight, as you can see, and in this section of the track you are going to start seeing something amazing that highlights the quality of the track. Yeah, this is already dark at the moment, and look at that wheel there, that carousel wheels. I don't know if I can call it like this. And look how this is so well worked in the night. Look at the cockpit, how it is so dark. In this moment, it is receiving the light from the outside, and I lost the rear there again. Yeah, I had fun. I had a lot of fun. That's the most important thing. And now it is night. It is night. You can hear the engine of that M8 there entering the pits, and I'll be leaving the pits now again in my beautiful BMW M8 GTE. Yeah, it's midnight at this time. Midnight. It's the hour I selected for this section of the video because I want you to see how the lighting and how the graphics worked by Studio 397 at the moment are so real at night. How the cars don't get any light, how the cars are affected by the light of cars behind them, dancing in the turns, and how the light continues to change, making sense if you compare this with real life. As you can see, as we enter the sections of the track that are more dark, you will see the light being softer and sometimes disappearing, the light in the car. Yeah, amazing work in an amazing. Sorry guys, I said I wasn't going to say amazing anymore. Brilliant work in a very good, in a top of the line sim. Yeah, there it is. This is what it is. The lights are different now compared to the previous time of the day I was showing. The lights on track are different, and it all makes it so much real. Yeah, you don't get this in any other sim at the moment. And of course, for instance, if you look at the content available on Assetto Corsa Competizione at the moment, where you can drive at night, although only with the cars from the Blancpain series, but if you look at Assetto Corsa Competizione, you will see an amazing graphics work at night, but then the physics of the cars is not as real and as involving as it is in this content. Yeah, because you really need to work hard to drive these cars. You need to have some skill to drive these cars, because the physics of the car is much closer to reality than in any other sim. And it's not just me saying that. Real racing drivers that race and practice in the sim also say the same. rFactor 2 is the simulation platform where at the moment you can feel and get more connected to the performance and to the handling of the cars compared to real life. Although I have to say that on that level, rFactor 2 and iRacing are really strong at the moment. Look how the light is here. You can only see the light of the cars, and look how the lighting from the headlights of the cars affects the track in a coherent manner. So this is what you see in real life. Yeah, look at it now, and this is what you see also here. It doesn't get any better than this. I also want to say, guys, I say this in every video, or at least I think I say this in every video. Please forgive me for some inconsistency in my English. I don't have a backup text for my videos, so I just edit the videos with the footage, and then after the video is completely edited, I make the comment as the video goes along, and I record as I'm watching the video to see if there's any mistake, and that's how I make my comments. And sometimes I think about the words in my native language, but when I try to find them in English, sometimes I don't find the right words. Sometimes I take some time to find those words, and I make some mistakes. Please forgive me, I do my best. I just want to show you guys my view on sim racing and on the sim racing contents, and I hope you acknowledge that, and I hope that you understand that most of all, I'm a passionate person about sim racing, and I try to share with you my passion. So I hope you understand that. I do my best anyway. So as you can see, the lighting is completely different at this time. I also in the video, I don't know if it's because of my not the graphics card, but maybe my discs, my hard disks. Sometimes I have some freezing there. We'll be changing that soon. And this is very important now, because now we are going for an onboard lap. This is the best lap I performed. It was 4:00, but it could have been 3:56 or something like that, because I made some mistakes. But this is very important, because during this lap you will see from the cockpit camera how the lights, how this is also well worked by Studio 397. Now pay attention to the cockpit of the car, because at the moment it is still taking advantage of the lighting on the track, but yeah, in a few seconds it will be really dark. Like for instance, starting from now, and now look, yeah, the cockpit light now. You just have the dashboard, nothing else. So it's completely dark. But now we get to another section of the track with more light, and look at how the light enters the cockpit. This is very coherent, and this makes sense compared to real life. Yeah, now it gets dark again. Yeah, this is amazing. You can actually enjoy driving in this sim, because you look all around you and there's nothing that stays out of the plan, that there's nothing that doesn't make sense. And this is why I wanted to show you guys in this video, in this long video. This is why I wanted to show you what I saw after testing the track, because once you analyze all that involves this release, once you analyze how thoroughly these guys worked in every way, in every sense, in every aspect, in every detail, you will probably say, wow, this is too good for 10.99 content, because there are a lot of people in the community that have been used throughout the years to have most of the time free content, and sometimes they complain because content nowadays is paid. These guys from Studio 397 have been investing. They had to pay to get this track on their sim for you guys to use. That also happens with the cars. They have to pay the licensing of the cars, and then they work for many months, and Studio 397 kept this the work about this track kept it secret. We only knew that they were going to release this track maybe a month or 2 months before the release, when they had already developed basically a lot to release the track soon, right after a short period of time. So these guys have been working hard to bring more content, quality content to their sim, and I'm trying to show you guys all the work they have put in this enterprise. I'm trying to show you guys how is this completely worth the amount of money they ask you for this, and how, in my opinion, it's a bargain to have such quality content for 10.99 euro. I have to congratulate Studio 397 for an amazing release. Yeah, mistake there. I went too wide and I lost a chunk of time there. That was probably the section of the track where I lost more time. Final corner, yeah. But it's not over until the fat lady sings, so probably I would have made a... Yeah, sorry there, the camera. I was trying to hide the mouse, but I wanted to show you at the same time this view of the track. So we are now in the final time of the day present in this video, and this is 7:30 in the morning. So 7:30 in the morning, and it's also raining. So 10 minutes before, as you can see now, the rain there, 10 minutes before we went on track, it started raining heavily, and during the next minutes you will see that it remained raining almost all the time. But I want you to pay close attention to the lighting of the cars, to the cars and to the track, because it started raining recently, so at this moment the track is still absorbing the rain, and it's not yet showing a shower of water, as if I can call it like this. So in some parts of the track, after a few seconds, that will start happening, but this is another example of me showing you how perfect is this simulation, because it takes time, like in real life, for the track to absorb the rain and to start putting up water as the cars go by, making a sort of a shower. As you can see right now, it starts to appear, that shower. I struggled very much for grip during all the laps. I was never able to complete in the laps shown in this video now with the rain. I was never able to complete the full lap, or perform a lap time if you prefer. So slightly the shower of rain starts to show. There's already a lot more water in the tarmac now, but it will be changing lap after lap with the development of the weather conditions and of the increase of the rain. So there I was able to control the car. It's really difficult at some parts of the track, and it changes constantly. So in this first lap I still have some grip, but I started struggling on braking, especially braking after a long straight. You will see that happening at the end of this very fast section. Yeah, it's still early dawn, so there's no sun. Of course, it's raining. It's still a lot dark. Yeah, exiting in understeer there. The track is really dark. It's still dawn, so different time of the day and different weather conditions. This is also what makes rFactor 2 so different than other simulation platforms, because it's the only one where you can simulate basically everything. Yeah, some sims work better with the sounds, some sims work better with the graphics, some sims work better with the physics. rFactor 2 is really good in everything. Well, they don't have a new UI, and people can complain about that, but that's all. So in some parts of the track, the water is still, the track is not yet absorbing the water, but as you can see, I'm in slow corners. I'm struggling, and it became worse lap after lap, and not only for the GTE cars, also for the prototypes. I think that in the weather conditions I'm showing you now, from all the three cars available in this, from all the three class cars available in this endurance pack that I brought to you in this video, the one that enjoys the most driving in these specific conditions, I think, is the LMP3. It's the more balanced because it doesn't have a lot of power. It is a light car. The engine has a lot of torque, and I think it works best in this situation. So, and you will see that both the GTE cars and the LMP2 cars struggle a lot with these weather conditions. There are some small parts of the track gathering already strong amounts of water, but it's going to start. Yeah, as you can see, I'm always asking you to pay attention. Pay attention to the way the water is joining the track, and yeah, there are some pools, small pools there, and after one lap the track is completely different in terms of the handling. Look, as you can see there, it's amazing. The graphics also working, showing us the water in the rear view mirror and in the wind screens. And yeah, I lost the rear there. This was a struggle. And another detail to highlight the tremendous quality of rFactor 2 at the moment, and the tremendous quality of this release. Look how the water is there on track compared to the previous lap where we shown you this same angle. Look, I'm losing grip, I'm losing track, I'm losing performance on track, because every corner works different lap after lap. Look there, I have to go wide, I have no traction, I have no grip, I'm struggling. Yeah, this makes the challenge of driving in a simulation platform not compared to a video game. Yeah, some people are always trying to not value this as a good alternative for learning and developing your skills in motor racing, but this simulation rFactor 2 shows you that it's really not like that, because you really have to work You really have to respect the car and the track conditions in these situations, and you really have to try and adjust. It's not a done deal. It's not something that you just, okay, it's raining, but you can drive it like this or like that. It's not easy. That's what I'm basically saying. It's not easy. The weather conditions are it's raining a lot, as you can see, and it is affecting lap after lap the track differently, and you feel that driving. So it forces you to be very focused and to be very cautious on track. And I can imagine that a full lap in these conditions must be a struggle. Yeah, must be a struggle to keep the car from crashing and from damaging the car. It's another way to highlight the quality of the sim at the moment, and the quality of such a specific content as this one is, the Le Mans 24-hour track that is now available through Steam for rFactor 2. This is a hell of a drive. This is a hell of an experience for people like me that are true passionate of motor racing, and that are even more passionate of sim racing. At the moment, I've been a passionate person for motorsports throughout my life, but 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe 6, I don't know, I discovered, I lost the rear there. I tried to deal with that corner. It is a tricky corner. With the dry track is even trickier. With a wet track, I tried to be smooth there, but I lost the rear. And in the wet, once you lose the rear of the car, it's all over. You are not going to be able to control it anymore. As you can see, the LMP3 cars there, I was overtaken by one. The LMP3 cars are struggling also, but they seem to be the ones handling better the weather conditions and the track conditions at the moment. They lose traction constantly also, but they do manage better than the GTE cars and the LMP2 cars, and you will see that in a few moments, because you will be seeing me under pressure from both an LMP3 and an LMP2 car. So in this final section of the video, I'm showing you more footage from the TV cameras, because I want to show you the track, how the track is changing from lap to lap. I'm not sure if it is still raining or if it stopped raining, because this was a strong shower of rain, but then it stopped. The track is busy at the moment. As you can see, there are a lot of cars on track. It's really wet and it's slippery, so it forces you to, I couldn't handle this corner here. As soon as I braked, the car was blocking the wheels and was going forward, and I was not being able to turn in correctly. So in a race I would probably need to brake earlier and to be more cautious there, because that was one of the sections of the track where I was struggling tremendously to get some better handling and to perform with the car. In the dry, sometimes I had issues in this corner, but in the wet I was working better with this corner, although sometimes on exit I was going too wide. But it's really slippery, and you can feel that brings a lot more intensity to your simulation and to your and the adrenaline it causes you when driving in these conditions. Well, it's great, and it's hard to not get addicted to this sim. Really, it is hard to not get addicted to this sim. This is what I was talking to you about. So there's an LMP2 car behind me. I'm getting blue flags. You will see that I'm getting blue flags throughout the track, but I'm just sticking to my line. I'm leaving him room. But I'm forcing him to choose a different. I saw the blue flag there. I'm trying to force him to choose alternatives to overtake me, but sometimes I'm not also being able to control the car, and I'm going from one side of the track to the other. There you can see the blue lighting means blue flag. But look, the LMP2 car on exit, how it loses the rear and goes off track. and look how the LMP2 car at the moment is damaging the performance of the LMP3 car. So it doesn't manage to go away from the LMP3 car, and the LMP3 car is trying to find ways to overtake the LMP2 car. Of course, difference in power between these two cars makes it really difficult for the LMP3 car to overtake. But as you can see, exiting the turns, I have more traction than the LMP2 car. Yeah, I'm going to give him the inside line, but then I go wide because I have no traction. Yeah, and so I'm making it difficult for him. I'm not being able to control the car also. Again, here I go from the one side of the track to the other because I'm not controlling the car. Maybe he is with slick tires, I don't know, the LMP2 car, because now he's going to pit. You will see him pitting, and I will remain on track. This is the final section of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you understood why I made this video so long, because I wanted to highlight all that is with this release in this sim. Because what makes this 24-hour, this Le Mans 24 hours release for rFactor 2 so important is because this track is going to be properly enjoyed and used in this sim due to the technical capabilities of the sim. And thank God for sim racing and for rFactor 2. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you soon. Please forgive me for such a long video. Bye bye.